Okay, so hello everyone. It's the last week of January, um, and I'm kind of looking at how things are going here. As you can see here, I got some cold weather damage on some of my dragon fruit, and that's not because of frost, because we've had very little frost this year. But yeah, so we had a lot of fog, and temperatures don't really heat up when it's consistently foggy and overcast. And like today, finally the sun's breaking out, so I'm out here. But you can see here's another one, a good example of cold damage right there on the tip there. There's a couple of them right there. But the dragon fruit were sitting in some fog and some cold temperatures around 40 degrees for several weeks before I put the plastic up, and you don't really see the cold damage until much later. And you know, there it is. But now that the plastic's covering everything and enclosed, there's no more further damage, but you can see how that is. So it's not necessarily just frost that causes cold damage, but cold and wet, and the mist from the fog kind of, doesn't like it. So, but everything else seems to be doing fine. I'm starting to get some growth going, and some of my plants already in the plastic here. When the sun's out, it feels like about in the 70s right now inside here, when it's only about 56, 57 outside. And that's the reason when the plastic is up, because it gives these guys a break from the cold weather, and also protects it from the moisture, cold moisture. So, and you can see over there's another couple branches that are cold damage, but I'm not going to cut them off right away, because a lot of times they end up just dropping that the area where it turns yellow, and it just gets mushy, and it ends up being okay a lot of times. So let me see if I can find an example here. Hold on, let me go look for something. Okay, so here's a bruni. It does not like, this is damage from sun right here from a couple summers ago. And but and the cold damage, right? There's some more right there. What ends up happening is, see, you can see this branch here, all that stuff that's like this right here, it starts to of course it'll deteriorate and dry out, and eventually it becomes like this, and the branch is still good, so, but it's still good on the bottom half. So last year this looks like crap here. It doesn't look like it's going to be okay, but here it is. It's okay here. It's nice and firm, except for this one from cold damage. And I had fruit on this branch last year, so that one's kind of mushy. But anyways, so yeah, so I'm gonna just wait and see what happens on some of this, and if it's no good, and if it doesn't come around, then you just cut it off, obviously. But it still can be good, I'm just saying. So right here is a good example. It just had a lot of damage up here, and so it's hard to hold this at the same time, but had a lot of damage, and here it is. It's still growing stuff off of it. So don't rush to cutting things off just yet. So see how they turn out, and it might be okay. It may not look great, but it's still viable. So yeah, so we're getting to the point, like next month in February, our temperature is going to start coming up, obviously, and under the greenhouse here, everything is going to start pushing some growth. So I don't really want things to go crazy this year, so I got to keep an eye on that. But yeah, I still have fruit on here hanging on. I'm not sure how good it's going to be. I'll find out. But and this one, you can see some cold damage on the outside of this, some rust on the outside of this fruit right here. But anyways, yeah, got some fruit on here still, along with cold damage. So this bruni here, I'm gonna have to see how it looks in about another couple months, but it's gonna take off with a lot of growth, you know, and it'll be fine. And it does great every year, puts out a lot of fruit. It's one of the first ones to start, one of the last ones to have fruit, and it just doesn't really like cold weather very much. So mostly like some of my tougher varieties, like the Vietnamese White and the Soul Kitchens and Maria Rosas, they get very little damage from sun or the cold. Not saying it doesn't, but not nearly to the degree that Bruni or Connie Meyer does. But another one that doesn't really like cold is the Red Jane. I had a few of those, and they just really didn't take very well in the wintertime, so I end up pulling them out because they're always recovering. Anyways, yeah, so I still have some fruit on some of these, and we're you know, gonna see what happens with these guys. So hopefully they turn out okay. I can see the ants starting to activity starting to pick up. That tells me it's getting warmer. So anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna show you one other thing. Okay, so I'm trying to show you something here. There's these holes in the ground here. They were mounted up with dirt. That's gophers. And so since everything has been closed off in these you know, where I have my potted dragon fruit, it's pretty much enclosed. So I have some cats that usually come out and they catch the gophers and kill the gophers, but since everything's in plastic, they can't get in here, and so the gophers are taking advantage of that. And you don't really see the mounds right now because I watered today, and I kind of washed flat those mounds, but they're here chewing on the roots of my dragon fruit. So that's the main reason why I have them in pots, so to protect the main root ball, and until the cats can come in here and take over and take out those gophers. But see, there's some pretty good holes right here. Anyways, but if you see this here, look at this. It looks like I planted some cuttings in there. I didn't. These were some damaged branches that I had just dropped on the ground, and the gophers dragged them into a hole, and they are chewing on them. So it looks like I planted them, but that's the gophers doing. So anyways, and they're all kind of all over the ground, kind of soft and mushy from their tunneling. And I still got about another 6 weeks before I start opening the sides and letting the cats in, but I think everything will be fine. But gophers, man, they do a lot of damage. So, and they like the roots of the dragon fruit. They like chewing on the dragon fruit branch cuttings that I drop. So anyways, thought I'd share you what's going on. Still January, not a lot going on. In the next month or so, things are going to start picking up. A lot of growth going to be happening, and plastic will be coming off. I'm only watering once every 2 weeks, and everything's still fine. Nothing's looks like they're dwindling away or anything. Actually, you know, they're pretty plump still. And it hasn't been very warm, but because it hasn't been sunny. And now that we're getting a little more sun, things are going to start picking up, and we're going to start getting a lot more growth. So I might pick up my watering a little bit. So yeah, so here we are, getting ready for next season of dragon fruit, and can't wait. All right, take it easy.